shadow hiding from the light, secrets buried in the coldest ground. We're digging deep where the truth is found. Daphne's case files, we're breaking the chain. Justice rising, no more pain. Evil's end, the final call. Behind the lies, we'll expose it all. Whispers echo in the darkened halls, faint confessions on the paper walls. Every victim deserves their say. We're here to chase the night away. Daphne's case files, we're breaking the chain. Justice rising, no more pain. Evil's end, the final call. Behind the lies, we'll expose it all. Unseen crimes, they thought they'd won, but the fight for truth has just begun. Every clue, every trace, bringing evil face to face.
Hey, internet friends, welcome back to Daphne's Case Files. Today we will be going over the Sebastian Rogers case. Losing my voice, that did not sound good. Today we will be going over the Sebastian Rogers case. His father, Seth Rogers, just made a live last night, a very emotional live. I was able to watch half of it last night and then watch the rest today. And he is yearning for something to be done to find his son. And he feels that the local LE, the local law enforcement, and the attorney general are not focusing enough on Sebastian. So we are going to get right into Sebastian's case. First, I want to welcome in everybody. Hello, Jennifer, Robin. Hello. It's going up. Louise, yes, we're going to play some of it if it's okay with him. Honey Babe, Shenanigans, hello, Heather. Good to see you, Mama. Good to see everybody. And hello, everybody up there. If I missed your name, welcome in to Daphne's Case Files. Today is November 17th, and it is 5:09 p.m. on the East Coast in New York State. And Sebastian has been missing for almost 2 years, right? In February, it will be, 2 years? And I think, right? Or 3 years. It'll be 3 years, right? So he went missing. Gosh, I cannot believe how time has went by. He will be 17 on December 7th. Can you believe that? 2 years. Yes, thank you. I'm like, wait a minute. But I can't believe how time has went by. And it seems like we're at a standstill. And I completely agree with Seth with what he said last night. Now, with what he was talking about with like updates and stuff like that, there hasn't been any, really. Nothing at all. And I feel bad for the guy. I really do. Like, you can actually, you feel pain listening to this man talk, because you just can tell, like, he just yearns for his son. Now, I know there's other parts in the video. He just labeled it, "It's been too long." He didn't put his son's name in the post because he was basically upset about how long it's been, how little updates there are, and he's very upset at his ex-wife and at her husband, Chris. And he blames them. He blames them because Katie was the last person to have seen Sebastian, right? And no cameras caught him. I just can't comprehend that. How do you live in a close-knit neighborhood, right? Most everybody has cameras on their home, some type of camera, right? Ring cameras, installed cameras. Mom even worked for a security place where she installed cameras, but at this time she didn't have them on their home. And somehow they had a great night at the Texas Roadhouse. They ate dinner and stuff like that. From what we heard, they went home. And the last time that she heard Sebastian's voice was around, 10 o'clock? Told him to go to bed, right, guys? I agree, Louise. He does. He has every right to be upset. And I feel like he feels like he's in a spot where he can't do anything. He misses his son. He wants to see his son, and nothing's being done from what he feels, right? Like, I haven't really seen any updates. Have you guys? And if it wasn't for like YouTubers and stuff coming out and talking on social media, like there wouldn't be anything. It seems like it's just a cold case, right? And I hate to say that, but if it wasn't for social media, there is like no updates on Sebastian's case, and it's sad. So we need to keep talking about him. We need to keep talking about these cases so they don't go cold. We need to keep their names out there, because I mean, even if it's 2-3 years later and just one person says his name, that and someone sees him out, says, oh my gosh, I just watched so and so's YouTube video last night or last week, that has to be him or her. So you got to keep their names out there. It's very sad. Hi, Joyous. Good to see you, honey. Robin, I'm glad you made it back to the right video. So there is 2 streams. StreamYard's got some craziness going on right now, guys. It does like a vertical and a horizontal stream. I thought I turned it off, but for some reason it reset itself. So I'm sorry, but it's doing the same stream. If you are on the horizontal stream right now, or the vertical stream, excuse me, if you want to come over to the other, which is the horizontal, feel free to do so. But welcome in, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Now, I want to go back to the beginning. And first, I want to start off with the camera thing. No cameras caught Sebastian, right? I'm going to show his face. So if you've never heard of Sebastian Rogers, this is what he looked like the last time. Get my face, right? Closer to this, right? Older. So, and Mom said that he started to grow facial hair and stuff the last time that she, was around him. And so he's definitely a lot older now after 2 years, if he's still out there. And yes, the camera thing is so weird to me. Chris even mentions that a neighbor, this always got to me, guys. This always stood out in my head, that a neighborhood cat, something that weighs not even maybe 10 pounds, right, was caught on several neighbors' cameras. But yet a 15-year-old boy seems to just slide by those cameras, right? It just doesn't make sense to me, guys. It makes no sense to me. What about you? Does it make sense how he just vanished? Do you think Sebastian made it home that night? Now, some people think, no, he didn't. I think he did. I think he did. But there's no proof of it. Now, some people say, well, yeah, he took out the trash, but they couldn't verify that if it was him, right? So I'm going to take you over. I think this is very important. There's a neighbor. Her name was Bobby. She spoke out, and I want to play some of her her message, right? This is back in the early, Jen, she absolutely did. The mom worked for a security company, Brinks, I believe, right? And there's been rumors that they actually moved out of their home. Now, I'm not quite sure. I'm not up positive. And they're renting it out or something. They're renting out their home on Stafford Court. But where would they have went? Like, it's just weird. Like, why would you leave the home? I understand, there's been a lot of drama surrounding that home and stuff. But the chance if your son comes back, it's like he's going to see strangers there. And that always got to me too. Remember how she left like within the first couple weeks, right? She left within the first couple weeks and she said she felt threatened. So she went to go stay at Chris Proudfoot, her husband's, like with him, right? And I always thought, I was like, what? And she said she had left something out on the porch, like a blanket and something else out on the porch for him if he came home. And I'm thinking, don't you have a keypad on your door and he supposedly knows the code to get in, right? I don't know. I just thought that was odd. So this is Sebastian, right? This is the FBI flyer leading to any information where Sebastian's whereabouts are. And I'm just going to go down from here. I'm just going to look over this for a minute. Then we're going to go to the neighbor, Bobby. Now I'm going to catch you up a little bit here. On February 26th, Katie Proudfoot went to wake up he was 14 then, right? No, he was 15. This is wrong. How is this? He was 15. Why does it say 14, guys? I knew he was 15. I remember that. I don't know why the FBI says 14. She went to wake up Sebastian, her 15-year-old son, for school. To her surprise, he was nowhere to be found. Sebastian Rogers had spent the previous day with his mother. The pair shop at the department store, played video games in a bowling alley, and they had dinner at a local restaurant before heading home for the evening. After returning home to Hendersonville, Tennessee, I cannot talk today, Katie and Sebastian prepared for bed, saying goodnight sometime between 9 and 10. Katie told us a little bit before 10 she heard a loud, well, originally it was thud, not bang, coming from Sebastian's room. So she yelled out to him to ask him if he was okay. But she never said that. She said that. She says, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you need to cut it off. That's what she originally said. Am I right, guys? Do you remember that? And then he responded, yes, ma'am. That was the original statement. And then it says that she told him to go to bed because they had have to be up early for school the next morning, right? See, this was never said in the beginning. Katie called her husband, Chris Proudfoot, who was out of town in Southwest Tennessee, Memphis, I believe, right? And the two of them nearly spoke for 2 hours before she went to sleep around midnight. I thought it was like 3 hours. I don't know. The next morning was the beginning of what would become a massive search for Sebastian. Katie called her husband, Chris, and told him she couldn't find Sebastian, that he wasn't in his room or anywhere in the house. Katie got into her car and drove around the neighborhood and to Sebastian's school. Remember, this is like 6-something in the morning, which was less than a mile away from their home, searching for Sebastian before returning home. During this time, her husband called the local emergency communication center to report Sebastian as missing. In the early days of the search, it seems Sebastian vanished without a trace. So some of this is just really weird. It's not the same as I remember, right? I remember going to the school and searching in the neighborhood, but it was around like 6 a.m. in the morning. And it just goes on to say Sebastian did not take any clothes, shoes, money, food, or cell phone with him. His cell phone and cash were both lying on the dining room table where they had been the day before. When he went to bed, according to Katie, there was a small yellow flashlight that she thinks was missing. Who would remember a flashlight that's missing? Unless you use it every day. I heard he used it for like to play with and stuff. But I always thought that was odd as well, right? Like she noticed a small yellow flashlight, maybe setting up for the light video, just allegedly, just, you know what I mean? The first week in the search for Sebastian was a massive community and interagency search, right? Like the TBI, Tennessee Highway Patrol, like all of them, right? The search consisted for about 4.5-mile radius around Sebastian's home. For Jack and Lily, didn't they do 5 miles or something? It was more than that. There were roughly around 2,000 searchers equipped with an app tracking their movements, right? The searchers could also use the app to plot things on a map that they had observed while they were out searching. The total area they covered within that was like 4.5-mile radius was equivalent to 44,000 acres. That's actually a lot. That's a lot. In addition to ground searchers, law enforcement employed every available resource to their disposal, right? Like all types, like ATVs, helicopters, all that. During day two of the search, Sumner County Sheriff's Department, they reached out to the FBI for assistance and specific resources that could potentially help find Sebastian, who was he has high functioning autism. All right. And then it just goes on to say, I contacted our FBI child abduction rapid deployment team. This is what Carter said or whatever. And they shared a statistic that 50% of autistic children are prone to wander. But if you guys remember, Sebastian never eloped, right? Katie said this, that he never eloped. So why that night? Now, I have my suspicions. I think I've stated them here before. You know, there's been rumors that the mom and the stepdad were trying to put him into a boys' home. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember him being put into a boys' home or trying to be put? But there was cost involved, like the cost for that or something was too high. Then there was something Chris Proudfoot said, that he did not want Sebastian around his daughter, Faith. Remember that? Then there was something else. I think it was they were trying to get Sebastian to go live with his dad, Seth Rogers. But Seth was trying to get him in some kind of homeschooling shindig or something like that. And I believe Sebastian was supposed to come live with him later on after the school ended, right? But Sebastian told Chris that he didn't want to be homeschooled. Do you guys remember that? That he wasn't looking forward to that? So could that be enough just so he would run off? Because he didn't want to go to his dad's and do homeschooling? I don't think so. I honestly don't. But there, you know, some people talked about that, but I don't think so. But I do want to go back to the video of the neighbor. I think there are some important statements that she makes in there, and I want to listen to it again. There are so many interviews with the parents, a lot more than the Jack and Lily case, but this has been going on for quite some time. Sebastian had only been diagnosed with autism just a few months prior. Yes. Wait, I remember that. Yes. Do we believe Chris? Yeah, I'm not a very big fan of Chris. Yeah. What are you guys looking for? A little square? What is it? Yeah. And I agree, Jen. I think that's very odd. Like, he doesn't want anybody speaking to his wife. Now, have you guys heard the call? The leaked call? I just uploaded it to my members only. So There's a new leaked call that just came out, like a week ago, and it's with Heather, the PI, Chris, and Katie. Yeah, I agree, Brandy. I agree. What's a little empty square, guys? What little empty square? What are you guys looking at? Moose, he went to school. He went to regular school, but he was supposedly going to be homeschooled when he went to his dad's. I think what it is, it's doing, yeah, I agree. I don't see it by your name. Yeah, I don't know if you're on the other chat because there's two of the same lives going. So I agree, Louise. I agree. So we're going to go watch Bobby's interview. She is the neighbor that lives on the adjacent street, like, well, actually right behind them. Over in the corner, Bobby lives. And we're going to go listen to what she witnessed when Chris went by her and what she knows about what happened. And this woman has gotten a lot of slack too for coming out. And why the reason why I'm bringing this up is we know the Jack and Lily case, right? And how there's been a new search right now, right? A new search just, and Cheryl, I believe Cheryl had mentioned, if it wasn't for family, there would have only been 12 searchers. Now, why is that? I believe because they're frightened. Like this neighbor here, she stopped talking. She blocked and locked her Facebook down and everything after this. So, in my opinion, people are scared to come out and talk. They, just like our neighbor Brad and them, they didn't want to get in the middle of it, right? It is all so sad. All these children that go missing. Oh, yeah, shenanigans. He does. A big temper, like hothead, in my opinion, hothead. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this. Oops.
2 weeks later, it went around, and I told you they started the search all over again, literally from ground one. They knocked on their door and asked them, do you guys have cameras?
Can you guys hear this? Can you guys hear it? Let me know if you can hear this, okay?
They said, yes, but they're not working. And the guy looked at me and said, that's okay. Can we see it anyway?
Yeah.
Sure enough, their cameras actually were working, and there is a black blob with something thrown over the person's shoulders, walking in between their houses. They carried something over their shoulders, over that ditch. And I'm telling you right now, Katie Crawford being in the military, that woman is strong. I guarantee you she carried him over that and probably gave him to Chris standing on the other side.
Now, why would a neighbor say that? Why would a neighbor say something like this? Like to stir up stuff, right? Why would they say something so telling like this? I don't think a neighbor would just come out and start talking like that unless something was true, right? They're not just gonna, like I said before, shit where they eat, right? People don't do that. So there has to be some type of truth to this, in my opinion.
Because there was something that walked across in between those houses. But here's the thing that I wanted you to hear that he said to me when you were at your truck getting your other phone and everything. I said, I don't understand the whole timestamp thing. And he said, yeah, that was really weird to me too. I don't know why it wasn't working. And I said, what do you mean you were surprised it wasn't working? And he said, well, it was working Saturday. And I'm like, oh. And he said, and it was working Tuesday. He said, and it's only 2 hours off. So it was working the day before and the day after, and it was only 2 hours off.
Yeah, see, that's the weird part. I'm telling you, it's because whoever this was had a zipper.
Oh, I know. I hear that. I guarantee you it was like
That's why I was going to bring that up. If you had to leave, I had to unlock it. It's called a zipper. I can tell now every camera
So they're talking about the camera. Louise, yes, like in another call. So this is the one where she's talking about the camera. You guys can't hear it? You can't hear it? I know it's kind of low. I can't. Yeah, I can't either. So she's talking about their camera. Hi, Bonzo. That the basically she installed cameras talking about Katie, Sebastian's mother, and for some reason the camera didn't record. Like there was a frozen timestamp at like 3 something, but yet it was working before and after, which is very odd. This is all right.
I told you as soon as I got home, because after he said I had to go to a doctor appointment, but as soon as I got home,
This is causing us any federal interference on the site over in Washington, Tennessee, and he had the same thing. You know, it's like you can't technically legally own it.
that's what I wondered if it was really.
It's almost like a jam.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, since you know more about this than I do. Is it possible that if you do use those things to stop? Okay, that's what I was going to ask you, because adding on to this, the neighbor across the street from me, I had gone over to her house one day to do something, and I couldn't get them to answer the door. And finally, I called her, and I'm like, why are you not answering your door? And she said, I didn't hear anything. And I'm like, girl, I'm over here pushing your ring button thing. She has a ring doorbell. Now, they had footage that they turned in, but there wasn't anything on it. Nothing on it. I said, why isn't your doorbell, your ring thing working? And she said, well, I don't know. It was working when this whole thing happened. Her camera just stopped working.
So check this out. Check this out. So this is where we go back to the cameras. When these Ring cameras or Wi-Fi cameras, allegedly, well, actually there is, where you can hack into these Wi-Fi cameras and they will stop recording, right? They will stop recording. So now, allegedly, did somebody hack into these cameras so they wouldn't record? This is the person across the street. That's crazy, right? That's absolutely crazy.
The people beside them, same thing. Both of their Ring cameras have gotten burned up. Can it do that? Yes, absolutely. So I'm just wondering who else had that same problem.
Mm-hmm.
I usually just buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is it possible then that if she had one of those, can you interrupt cameras or whatever for a period of time and then they turn back on?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I wouldn't answer that one just because I know on the RF side of it, because it's a frequency thing, and it's just like your cameras work off of, I think it's like 2.5
Okay. So that's all I want to show you from there. So what I'm getting at is those cameras can absolutely be hacked, right? Now they would have to, I know they did geofencing and stuff to see who was in the area and who wasn't in the area. I know Chris got really pissed off about his truck and his Wi-Fi shit, right? When they were talking about his Wi-Fi router or something in his truck. That was crazy. Not a fan of the SF and the PI. So I just find it very odd. Yeah, he's very defensive. I just find it very odd that these cameras couldn't be hacked. And this was a hidden call. Like, she didn't know she was being recorded, right? She had no idea she was being recorded. So why would she lie? Why would she lie about that, right? I don't know. But I want to take you to one second. because that audio on there is like so bad. Give me just a second. There is, here, 1 second, guys. I gotta fight with my computer for a minute. No, I don't want to go to my Google account. I want to go to my history. Okay. We're gonna watch this real quick. Now I've heard, do you guys remember how many times CP, you like my glasses? Guys, no politics in here, please. My glasses. I need to get prescription ones. Like these are, they're like just the readers. But I need them because I can't freaking see. All right, I want to play something for you guys. So there was a new update. Ooh, hold on, not an update, but Vinny Politician did a interview the other night on Sebastian. Oh, thank you guys. And I want to play some of that. Now, I wanted to play Seth Rogers' interview from last night, but it's really long. It's very long, so maybe we can do that another time. But I want to bring up Vinny Politician's video because I'm a blind bitch. I can't see unless I have my glasses on. It's so hard to read like on here. I don't know what it is. Okay, so this is Vinny Politician, and I'm just gonna play some of this real quick. I can't believe it's already 5:40. Like, I literally have another stream at nothing, don't I?
Sebastian Rogers. It's been more than a year and a half at this point.
Right.
He's still missing.
What these guys say.
Recently, the FBI released their timeline update in this case.
It's 30.
Whoa, I've got some feedback. 1 second, folks.
Sibilance.
All right.
Sibilance.
Oh, my
Microphone
goodness.
check.
On here, I gotta mute this. 1 second.
Oh, come on.
Please stand by.
I had it saved. There we go.
It is, this story has baffled me from the beginning, and it continues. And I'd gone through this timeline and looked at everything, and I'm just to this, I just can't figure it out. I don't understand why we can't get some form of closure on this. Why this boy can't be found, or why we don't know what happened to him. It's just baffling and heartbreaking.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They just turned 16, Jonesy.
Yeah, I didn't know that he
Not
just
just
turned 16, but it boggles my mind as well, because it seems to me in a lot of similar type of cases, of somebody missing, that by now there'd be some sort of breakthroughs, in these modern times with video cameras everywhere and, investigatory techniques that never existed in the past. It just seems like tracking is something that happens a lot faster than this particular case.
Yeah. By the way, folks, we're live streaming on my Facebook, on my YouTube, on my Twitch, on my X, and on my Instagram today. So we're on Tennessee.
There we go.
The FBI doesn't necessarily say that here.
See,
like,
they
what
got
is the
it
evidence? Now, obviously, mom can say it, right? That's evidence. But is there some corroborating piece of evidence, like video, cell phone, logging on to his computer or something? Is there something? That's the first thing that I would want here. Something that confirms this first part of the timeline, that Sebastian actually returned back to the home in Hendersonville.
Well, we do though have. There was the guy in the green hoodie that spoke to the mother in the parking lot, and the kid was there at that time.
But that's not their home.
That's not their home, but I mean, it does show that. I mean, he was heading to the car at that point in time, but it doesn't show that he was home. But I mean, so we do have him in the parking lot. We do have him in the car, or getting to the car. And then the next thing is we have to believe the mother saying that he's at the house.
Right.
Bed, and they said they parted. He went to bed. She went to her where she was going, and then the next part of the story comes with a loud bang, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But to me, this moment right here, this is a crucial part of the timeline, because this establishes like what I would call it's not necessarily the scene of the crime, but like where should the focus be in terms of locations. And Jonesy, if we have evidence, like corroborating evidence that he's in the home, which can come in many different ways, then yeah, the focus is the home. But unless we have that, I think the focus of the investigation has to begin at the restaurant.
Well, sure. Yeah, I mean, that absolutely makes sense. You need to connect the dots on, like, as far as like, where they actually traveled to before whatever incident may have taken place to cause his disappearance.
But they did go to the restaurant. They did speak to the people at the restaurant. I mean, that's how they identified the green hoodie guy.
And there's video of them at the restaurant.
Right. And there is no testimony or nothing that's come out that we're aware of that says that there was any untoward behavior or there was any other problems between.
I want you guys to put a 1 in the chat if you think the person in the green hoodie was suspect. I know that's been ruled out, and I know that's been ruled out, right, guys? But I felt that person was suspect. Yes, it looks like they're going up through where Katie's car is, right? And it looks like Katie and this woman, we found out it was a woman, this person in a green hoodie. They both like had some kind of interaction, right? Like who knows? Like, excuse me, move out of the way, blah, blah, blah. It was just very odd. I was on Daphne's other post when he said Katie couldn't talk to her without him there. Yeah. I don't know. It's freaking nuts. Yes, you guys think so as well. I do too. And I know it's been bye, Tom Lou, enjoy your supper. I know it's been debunked and all that. Did you know that rumor is that person passed away? Did you guys hear that person passed away? And if you look at that person up close, it looks like Katie's sister, kind of. I wish he'd be found too, but just like Lily and Jack, I feel he's out there not in a good way, right? Yeah, so rumor has it that the person in the green hoodie supposedly passed away or something. I'm not 100%, but that's what I heard. And that it's a woman. It was a woman, right? The woman in the green hood. And that woman looked very similar to Katie's sister. Yeah. KP said it was him and she could tell by his walk. What is it? Hold on. Do we know for sure that it was Sebastian? Yeah. Katie said she could tell by the walk, but Katie's also the only one. She was the only one there at the house when he went missing. So, oh, yeah. I don't know. Hey, Star, good to see you. Hey, Henry, good to see you. No, I don't have snacks right now. I ate too much earlier. I had like those thin pretzels with like Mexican street corn. It's so good. And then I had some frozen raspberries with chocolate and something else. Like I was a pig. Yeah, I believe so too.
Between her and her child at the restaurant, there's nothing that says that they were fighting or that there was incidents. So it just seemed like they had a decent, a nice meal. They were playing the video games and at the bowling alley and had dinner. I mean, so they did look into the restaurant. I mean, obviously the mother is always going to be the first suspect with regards to this because she's the one who sees him last.
Brandy, are you absolutely positive that's true? That lady was CP's stepsister and she passed. SCSO put out a document addressing that. but it's very odd. Yes, I didn't know it was CP's stepsister, and I heard she passed away, like she's no longer alive. What kind of shit is that? I'm gonna look for that while we're watching this. That's weird.
The last known person to be with Sebastian Rogers is her mother. So everything she says needs to be corroborated from start to finish. Everything.
Yeah,
But it would be very, very difficult to corroborate that he's at the house without him logging on to a computer, or without having something else, or made a phone call from the house, or had a cell phone at the house. But the cell phone is at the house. His cell phone's at the house. His money is at the house.
Right. Do they have his cell phone? Well, like, is his cell phone? Did they track the route from the restaurant back home to see if it was a direct route? Did they check all the cameras? Did they check license plate readers? Did they check surveillance video from whether it's convenience stores or traffic cameras? I don't know what exists in Hendersonville, but were they able to verify that the drive home was in the appropriate amount of time that it takes to get from point A to point B? And did it take the route that you would expect them to take? And if they did,
I just looked
is there
at it.
any sort of corroborating
Oh, this is FBI
evidence, video, digital evidence? That's what I want to see here.
And there's not. I mean, unless they're not.
They may not have released it, but like, I think they should, instead of just giving us a narrative, right? Which is kind of what the FBI is doing. Say, okay, we verified it, X, Y, and Z, but it's not really playing out that way. Here's the next part, and this is what you're talking about, Al. And this is the really strange part. Katie told us a little bit before 10 p.m. she heard a loud bang coming from Sebastian's room, so she yelled out to him to ask if he was okay, to which he responded that he was. Said Detective Brandon Carter from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. She told him to go to bed because they had to be up early for school the next morning. Boom. Are you okay? Yeah. All right, get ready for school. So it's a situation like that.
No. She goes, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you better cut it off. Like, cut it out, right? He goes, yes, ma'am. Do you guys remember that? But yet, so she did pass away. Thank you, Star. Thank you. That's what I thought. But that's really convenient, right? Like, that's weird to me. That's freaking weird. And why does this FBI thing say completely opposite of what actually happened? Katie says, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you better cut it out or cut it off or something. And he goes, yes, ma'am, or some shit like that. Wasn't she on the phone with Chris at this time? Chris never mentioned this happening. It's just weird. Like, it's really freaking weird.
Does that make sense?
No.
Does that make sense to you as,
Yeah.
mom home alone with her child, who is a child with autism, but it's functioning. He's high functioning.
That's you see, these are the kind of little factoids that always send up flags to me. There's almost too much detail and then not enough detail. There's a loud bang and she doesn't investigate. The child is a special needs. I mean, he's high functioning, but still has special needs. And anytime there is a bang in my house or anything along those lines, I will investigate. I mean, I may yell, just say, you okay? And then I walk in.
That's what she did. She yelled.
But then I would walk in and go, so what happened?
What was that? What was that? Like,
what
happened
there? Right.
And
that
I do that too. I do the investigation. Well, what was that noise?
Yeah.
What was that loud bang?
Yeah, the first thing you yell is like, are you okay? And then you get up and you walk in and you go, so
Or she
what
never
went on here?
does.
What happened? What something fall? Did you break something? What's the situation?
She never does.
That's
Jones, what was that loud banging coming from your room last night, Jonesy? What was that?
People, I don't know, people might take this the wrong way, right? But I don't have children. But if I have a cat who can be troublesome and can get herself in trouble. And, I'll be doing a radio show or whatever, and I'll hear some noises, something going on out there, or I'll hear a cry. And okay, she doesn't speak English, but I do ask, what are you doing out there? But I get up, I go and I check to make sure that she hasn't gotten herself in any kind of trouble, because she is prone to that sort of thing. And you know, I realize some people would say, well, it's just a cat, right? But okay, so maybe that's my point. To me, that cat means a lot.
A thud. Do you see that they changed it to bang? Where's it at? Loud bang. A bang is different than a thud. What do you think about when you hear thuds? I want you guys to put in the chat, when you hear a thud, what do you guys think about? Yeah, in the first interview, there was no mention of a thud. And then there was, and then now it's a bang. A bang, in my opinion, someone fell, right? Like they hit their head, right? Like thud, hit their head. Exactly. And if you remember, Sebastian had like fluid pocket on his head too. Remember? Heavy fall. I think of like a thud, like you hitting your head or something. Like a bang is different than a thud. Like it's like boom, right? A thud's like, oh, like I don't know. It's different. When I heard a thud, my husband had fallen. Exactly. There you go. So why not, knowing your child has a pocket of fluid on his head, right? He's supposed to be in bed because he's already came in and said, good night, mom. Good night, puppies, right? He's supposedly supposed to be in bed at this time, but you're hearing thuds. What could have possibly made a thud in his room? Was he jumping on the bed and fell off? She would have heard that, right? She would have heard him jumping on the bed and falling off, right? Yeah, I know, Star. It seems that way. It really does. It's like a local small LE like that. They don't want FBI or anything like that taking over their cases. It's like a power trip type thing, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Star. I agree. And the thing is, why didn't you get up and check on your son? She goes, I usually don't check on my son because he's at that age where, you know, like the privacy thing. And I'm thinking, just freaking knock. Like gently freaking knock, right? And see if he's okay. Yeah, I know he did a live last night. Do you guys want to watch some of that before we have to go to the Jack and Lily? Because I only got 35 minutes. Do you guys want to watch Seth's live? If you guys haven't seen it, we can go over that. Or we can continue watching this. Just let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to continue watching this, or put a 2 in the chat if you want to watch Seth's, I can't say his name, Seth. What nonsense would I have checked on my voice? Exactly. Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you. There are so many similarities in a lot of these cases. 2. Stay here. Okay. So 2 stay here, 1 go to Seth's. Right? Is that what we did? Can't remember. 3. Because I know a lot of you have watched the Seth's already. Exactly. You would go and check. Exactly. The walked off theory. Yeah, exactly. But no freaking cameras caught him. No cameras caught him. Oh, yeah. No, I know, Robin. I'm sorry. I got dyslexic. Yes. All right. Let's go to Seth. Hold on. Hopefully he doesn't copyright me. I know he was pissed last night because there were some channels like restreaming him or something. I don't know. Which, hold on 1 second. All right, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. It's very emotional. Hold on 1 second. All right, let me load it. go. Come on. Okay. All right, you guys.
Drive up and down this, take pictures of my house. I've had people come to my house. You come here and you ask for flyers and stuff, and I will give them to you. I do not have a problem with that. Chris does have a problem with people coming to his house. Chris has a problem with that. Katie has a problem with that. I do not have a problem with people coming to ask me for flyers and stuff. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with people looking for my son. I want my son found. I can only speak for myself.
Oh, here.
I do not speak for anybody else. Let it be clear. I want my son found. I speak for myself. I have flyers if people need them, and I have no problem handing flyers to people to spread that at all. Now, I have a problem for people speaking for me. People say that they do speak for me. Not everybody speaks for me. I speak for myself. There were some emails that were sent for a previous event, an organization. I went to that event. Me and several other people went to that event. I enjoyed the event. I spoke with several people at the event.
Mm-hmm.
The community has not forgotten that Sebastian is missing. The people that were serving food were a lot of Sebastian's classmates. People that were there with the organization that were doing the event know that Sebastian was missing. The only reason I wanted to go was to let them know that I was there representing Sebastian. I wanted them to know that as his father, I was still there because Sebastian was part of that. And I wanted them to know that I was there. And I appreciate the fact that they knew who I was and that Sebastian has not been forgotten. And I appreciate Hendersonville for understanding where I am coming from and that my son is my life. And I appreciate the fact that they know that I was there. And I appreciate them understanding that I felt it when I was walking through there. That's Sebastian's dad. I heard that a lot. And then I heard the conversations that they were having about Sebastian after they saw me. I was there wearing Sebastian's shirts, and I heard them having conversations about Sebastian. And that is what touched me. Because my son is not here.
100%, Robin.
I have a problem with people in there, in that community. That problem happens to be the sheriff's department. That problem happens to be the DA's office. These are people, I believe, that are not doing their job the way they should have done their job. Because my son has not been found. It's not with the individual people in the community. I know people in the community know that Sebastian is missing. And I know that they are wanting Sebastian found individually. I would love for the sheriff's department to grow a set and have some responsibility And I'd like them to actually speak about my son. Not say what they're doing, but actually speak about what they have done. Not what they are doing, but what they have done. Or even come out and speak and state that they are still working on it. But instead, they will not even do that. They're keeping it so tight-lipped that it seems that they're not doing anything. And to bring that up, I would like to know why it is that Brandon Carter, the one detective on the case, which I have multiple text messages from this person, states that he is the only detective on the case as of now because they have gotten rid of Tim Bailey because he has retired last year. They never put any more people on the case. But I have multiple text messages stating that he's busy in court on other cases.
Yeah.
Which state that he is not even only working on Sebastian's case. He is just a detective that is working on Sebastian's case, which means he is a detective with multiple cases, and Sebastian is just one of the cases that he is on. And he does not even have the integrity to tell the truth. That's the kind of stuff that leads to, it just leads to me believing nothing that comes out of his mouth. When you sit there and lie over and over and over again, and I start catching you in a lie over and over, and it's not just one lie, it's multiple lies, at which point in time do you actually think that I'm going to believe any of your lies? Brandon. Somebody in law enforcement, you're supposed to represent the badge. The badge does not represent you.
I want to just pause it there for a minute because I want to say something. And like I can feel his pain, like in frustration, right? God forbid that ever happened to me. Now my kids are over 15 years old and over 4 and 6 years old, right? They're of age. They're adults. But still, something could happen. God forbid. God forbid it ever did. I just don't even ever want to think about that, right? That's like the worst possible thing like could happen to a parent. Like something happens to their child. Like you just don't want to think about that. But if I was in his shoes, like I don't know what all he's done or whatever, I would be nonstop searching. I would be searching and combing those grounds and following every lead that could possibly make sense to where Sebastian could be. Like actually playing out what happened the following day until they arrived home, talking about Katie and Sebastian, right? Playing out everything until they arrived home, just going backwards and then just searching from there. Now, what I was talking about with, I'll just make this quick and we'll go back to the video. Katie and Chris are both retired from the United States military, the Navy to be exact, right? I know a lot about this. I know a lot about the Navy. And I know they have search and rescue teams, right? They do a lot of search and rescue, right? The Navy, kind of like the Coast Guard and stuff. I am sure, I'm positive that Chris and Katie have friends in the military, right? Couldn't they ask some of these military friends that have search and rescue experience to go out and help them find their son? right? These are military personnel. These people have extensive training in search and rescue, not just water, but land, right? Couldn't Katie and Chris ask their military friends to come help search? Wouldn't you do that? When all other resources are exhausted with the police, right? When they exhausted their resources or whatever, they're busy on other cases, you can pool your resources, such as your friends, family. They're 2 soldiers. They are 2 soldiers, guys. They are soldiers. They retired from the United States military. I would be out there fucking looking for my kid. If I was innocent, I'd be out there looking for my child. I wouldn't sleep. I would be out there all night, guys. I would build some kind of contraption where like it would rake up the ground and like just look through the woods. And I can't even imagine. I don't even want to imagine, because I don't want to ever be in that position. But I would be out there searching and following leads and backtracking what happened that night before. What could have triggered this? Go to Sebastian's school. Did anybody look in his locker? Did anybody open his locker to see if there's any kind of notes or like something that could indicate of him walking away or running off? Was he talking? Did he have a girlfriend? Did he have someone he confided in? Was there somebody online or somebody down the street? We know Katie's mother, I'm not trying to be mean, but her mother is a registered RO, right? Could she have somebody that done something? Allegedly, I'm just trying to throw shit out here, right? I would be looking into everything that could lead to finding my child. Because, oh, thank you, Wendy. It just baffles me. Now, I don't know what all they have done. I know they put blip boards out and shit like that, right? But I think footwork is the main thing here. Footwork, meaning search. Follow the last steps, the last day, right? What they did the last day, and then follow that. Search that area where he went from the last place he was seen, the restaurant, and search that area all the way back to his home, allegedly, right? Maybe someone can say, Chris specializes in psychological stuff. Chris is psychological. Weird.
Catch you in too many lies, you're just a criminal. You're just the person that uses the badge to get whatever you want, which makes you just about as useful as a holy blanket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what your protocol is in Sumner County for only having one detective on the case, but when you have only one detective on multiple cases, every case is going to suffer, which then leads to resources. You have a sheriff that's asking for multiple resources, and he's asking for more resources to pay his people, but then he's turning around and he's asking the city for $223,000, I believe is what he asked for at the last city meeting, so that he can turn around and rebuild his office. Buddy, you should be working out of a tent to solve cases before you worry about the roof over your head. 2 years now is what we're coming up on. And you won't even do a proper
excuse me.
Won't even do a proper You won't even do it. You won't even do a proper TV interview for my son. You can't even put his picture up when you sit there and speak about him. You guys don't do a proper scene. My son went missing, and you guys immediately 8 days. 8 days, you guys want to sit there and you call in so many different counties, but the scene was handled horribly. You treat it as a runaway, but you don't even know if it's a runaway or not.
Mm-hmm.
How many days did it take for y'all to turn around and get, not public announcement, it's a press conference? Thank you. Sorry, my brain has been running 24/7 so long that half the time I don't know if it's day or night or, I'm confused by the fact that they don't follow protocol for any of the stuff that they're supposed to be doing. I'm confused by what I see on the internet. I mean, there's a child missing, and I see true crime people putting my son's name in the titles of their videos, and they're making fun of other YouTubers.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to do that, that's all fine. Take my son's name out of it, though. Have a little respect for a missing child. My son's name is not in this title. It's just been too long. Because there's a lot of stuff that's just been too long. There's just a lot of stuff that's just been too long. There's been too long. There's been too long. Been too long. Let's go with been too long. How about it's been too long since I've seen my son? It's been too long since I've been able to talk to my ex-wife about my son. Mm-hmm. How about it took 9 months, Katie, for you
this is sad
carrying our son, all right, 9 months, over 9 months, because Sebastian was late. It was more than 9 months that you carried him because Sebastian was late. Sebastian was born on December 7th, 2008. And he was 5 days late. 5 days late. All right. 5 days late. So many complications. And I was there with you for every one of them. And I was there with you for the whole pregnancy, babe. I'm sorry. I shouldn't call you babe. I was there the whole time, Katie. Whole time.
Well, you could tell that he still loves his ex-wife, right? Yeah, it is heartbreaking. You could tell that he still loves his ex-wife too, and he does not like her husband, right? It seems like he feels that her husband kind of like took her away from him, which can't really happen. It goes both ways, right? You can't take somebody away unless they want to be taken away. But in the military, not to be rude, but women in the Navy, I'm just saying, not trying to be rude, that shit happens. And men in the Navy, it shit happens. As someone that knows from experience. And when you're in your 20s and stuff, like, trust me, I've seen it all. So it's nuts. But he feels that Chris has a lot to do with why Sebastian is missing. You can completely see that in this not interview, but in his video that he did.
You and I
Mhm.
created this wonderful being that was
Yeah.
gifted to us by God. And Sebastian decided that he did not want to come out when the doctor said he was supposed to come out. He was stubborn before he even came out.
You can see him tearing up here.
He was like, nah, I'm not going to listen to you. Nope, not going to come out. I'm going to stick around. Came out December 7th, which happens to be my dad's birthday, too. So he comes out December 7th. Pearl Harbor Day. December 7th, my dad's birthday,
Mhm.
and we are blessed with this miracle.
Excuse me.
Why is it, Katie, that in order for me to speak
This
with
is
you, I have to talk to this thing that you have decided is your husband now?
why. Why do you think? Why do you think Chris intervenes? Won't let Seth speak to Katie? Do you think Katie wants it like that? Do you think she doesn't want us to talk to her ex-husband? Do you think something's there where she feels awkward, like she doesn't want to speak to her ex-husband? Like, this is, I heard this before. Well, in the first interview, they acted like they were buddy with Seth, right? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Chris and Katie act like they're better than Seth, right? Like, who cares what Seth feels like? Who cares? We're gonna do what we're gonna do type people, right? Yeah, kind of, right? But do you think that's, wow, it sounds like CP is controlling. Yeah, like, that's weird. Or maybe Seth is pushing to talk to, I don't know. I believe when you have a child with somebody, right? When you're divorced, it doesn't matter. Those two parents should be able to converse with one another. Now, I know there are some that cannot do this because they scream and holler, or it's just too much, right? Some people just can't. So that's why I asked that. That's why I asked why she doesn't speak to him.
He had nothing to do with you and I creating Sebastian.
Oh, God, my nose is slipping.
He has nothing to do with Sebastian. He had nothing to do with you and I having a son. He had everything to do with us
Exactly, Bon.
not being together now.
Mhm.
Has everything to do with Sebastian not being here now. Has everything to do with you and I not being together. Has everything to do with not being a family. And that's fine. It's okay. It's okay with him having everything to do with destroying the family that you and I had.
Oh,
That's fine. That's fine. But why is it that I can't sit there and speak with you about trying to find our son unless I speak to this thing that thinks he's a man? Because let me give you my opinion. Just mine. Just my lonely little opinion. As a man, if any male wants to sit there and look at another man's wife and decide that he is going to take that person from that other guy and court them, which I don't even think he courted you. But if another male is going to look at a female that is married and decide that they're going to take them from another person that's married, that male needs to remember that when he takes that female from that male and that female has a child, he needs to remember that he's not taking just the female. He is also needs to be responsible for protecting that male's offspring with his life.
Okay.
Because that offspring is that male's life. And for your, whatever you want to call him, to ask me that question that he asked, what are you going to do if it goes south within 30 minutes of walking through the front door after he quote unquote gets to Memphis as fast as it, from Memphis to your house? Because it's your property, remember? Ask me, what are you going to do if it goes south? That question alone tells me he's not a man or a father. Because no man or father would ever ask another father, what are you going to do if it goes south? Because no father would ever ask another father what he's going to do. Because a father already knows the answer to that question. No father would ask another father that question because a father knows the answer without ever asking that question.
Yeah, I agree with that. What are you going to do if it goes south? Like, what the fuck? Who says that? That's weird, right? That's weird. That is weird that he asked him that. Well, you could definitely tell Seth isn't still in love with his ex-wife. Like, after all these years, because Katie and CP have been married, God, since 2016? Was it? Yeah, 2016, I think. So that's almost 10 years, right? And I heard that there was trouble in paradise. You know, autistic children can cause two parents to like split up, right? Because it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. You have to work together, and it's a lot. But some people just can't. Like, they just can't do it. And I heard that, this is allegedly, this is just a rumor, that Chris and Katie were on the verge of breaking up before Sebastian went missing. Did you guys hear that? I don't know. It's just really sad. Guys, I'm getting ready to go over to the Jack and Lily live. I'm going to post his video link if you haven't, so you can watch the rest of it. Hold on one second. I'm going to post it here. That way you can watch the rest of it on his channel. I shouldn't have scheduled them so close together. The next stream starts at 6:30. This is the link I just posted, guys. Goes to Seth Rogers' channel if you want to watch the rest of that. And he's just pissed. He's freaking pissed off. I understand that. It's ridiculous. But I would be out there. I mean, everybody's different. But I would, like I told you, I'd be out there following. I don't know if anybody did that yet. I'm sure they have. But following the last steps. But yes, I'm going to go to the restroom and grab a drink. And I will see you guys back here in 5 minutes, okay? I love you guys. And I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for coming in. Make sure to go over to Seth Rogers' channel and spread the word about Sebastian Rogers. That is why we are here. That is what my channel stands for, is spreading awareness to these children that are missing. We will see you in about 5 minutes with the Jack and Lily case. Thanks for watching.